so let's get into it. We're going to be doing some top 4 Branded Despia test hands that this is the exact list from the OTS. It's pretty relevant for this format. Yeah, this is an amazing hand. And then obviously going second, what you would do is start with Super Poly Fusion deployment with Lost. It's pretty easy to just win from there. This is one of those hands that can play going first or going second. So yeah, let's just order of operations. Obviously, we go main phase deployment, show the Grand Guignol for Cartesia. Then we go opening, pitching the Saronir. Or also we should be activating Lost just in case they want to make you dodge Imperm. And then we go Chainlink 1 Aluber, Chainlink 2 Saronir, sending the Retribution, and then we are going to search the Branded Fusion. And then we are going to go Branded Fusion, not in the Imperm column, and then we are going to send Fall in the Valbaz, and we have some options here. Since we already have the Cartesia, what we can do is this neat little trick. We don't have the whole most follow-up, but I think what we can do here is pretty good still. So we send the Albaz Lubellion for the Albion, obviously. We aren't caring about Imperm columns here right now. I'm just saying, just because I don't want to really have to care about that for testing. It doesn't matter. Since we have Lost up, your opponent can't respond. We can go Chainlink 1 Albion, and then Chainlink 2 Lost, and then Chainlink 3 Cartesia. And then Cartesia will fuse off with this, and then give you a Grand Guignol. Now you will also be able to search out the Mercurier here to get around the Nibiru, which is a huge part. That's what you're usually searching off of Lost, and then Albion will trigger banishing the Fall in the Valbaz and Cartesia for the Sanctifier. Always put these in defense just to play around Lightning Storm more. What we can do now from here, obviously, is go Grand Guignol to send the Gimmick Puppet. We don't play the second Guignol, so yeah, we just want to send the Gimmick Puppet here because we do have the Mercurier to play around Crow or whatever. And now we also have an Albion in graveyard with a Lubellion for later, with Retribution for follow-up with a opening with a Super Poly. So then we pass it to our opponent, and then we go, we go Albion in the end phase to set the Branded in red. And then what you can do, which is pretty important, in the draw phase, Branded in red, targeting, oh, we don't have anything to target. So see, that's the thing. We would like to do an uninterrupted Gimmick Puppet here, but we probably can't unless we super polyed our own Guignol, and I don't know if that's worth it. So, and especially game 1, game 2, you can make that determination if you want to do that, honestly, that to get the uninterrupted Gimmick lock, but you already have the Mercurier, so unless you're afraid of 2 Bestials, you might like if you're afraid of 2 Bestials, yeah. Hey, what's up, Yuri? So yeah, that's the board, and obviously we were able to break board with that too. It was looking pretty good. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the chat. This is gonna be re-uploaded to, why isn't my chat working right now? That's really weird. I'm gonna have to open it up. If you guys say something, it should show up now. I don't know if things are just not working right now, but that's fine. I'll respond if you guys have anything to say. If anyone donates, don't worry, I will see. You know, we had a really lit stream last night, so I just kind of want to keep up the streams. It seems like streaming is a little more popular now on my channel, and I would like to continue. It's really fun. So, yeah, Dust Dragon Starlight's nice. I'm about to get a Lulu Walleth, actually. So, let's see. Yeah, this hand's pretty good. So, we want to play around Imperm versus the Droll here, so we go main phase, fusion deployment, reveal the Grand Guignol, spec the Cartesia. A lot of times it's like an order of the operations, things you kind of have to figure out with the stack, and then we go opening, we pitch the evenly. Obviously, if you aren't going second, if you're going second, it's a whole different story, but at least we have the evenly, it's there. Plus with the Branded Fusion hard draw, it's pretty good for breaking boards. Then we'll go a Luber effect to search out a Branded Loss. That's always usually the second branded spell that you search. I mean, you could always search the Branded in red or the Retribution, but those are usually for going second, or just like Retribution if you already have Branded red and Loss and open fusion. We've all been there. And this is the point where your opponent's like, oh, it's nice, you have the hard draw Branded Fusion. You're like, hell yeah, I do. So we go Branded Fusion, and we send the... We can do the Lubellion play that we did before because we have the Cartesia on board. We want to play around Nibiru too, so... Yeah, we're just going to keep it simple, folks. That's what you always want to play around Nibiru. You want to keep it simple. You want to play around hand traps as much as possible. But also just remember that games 2 and 3, they can really have the Bestials and all that. So it's something to consider. You kind of have to play differently when you see their sideboard, and like if they have Bestials and Crows and stuff like that, which you can usually expect. Most decks will have those sided. It's just like how many you have to account for, because if they only have 3, you don't really have to like go hardcore negations, but it's fine. And then obviously for those decks, you could obviously run the other strategy with Branded. Sometimes other boards are just enough. You can just make that determination. So we will go Albion 1, loss 2, Cartesia 3, fusing off with... Trying to think, since we don't already have a spellcaster, we kind of have to unfortunately use oh, actually what we could do here is, I mean, does it really matter? Yeah, I guess we'll just do this so we can get the Aluber in graveyard. And then we go Grand Guignol, and then we search once again the Mercurier, and then from the Branded Loss on the Chainlink 2, and then Chainlink 1 Albion to fusion summon. We are going to banish the Albaz and the Cartesia for the Sanctifier. Like I said, it's always playing around Ash, Imperm, Nib for the most part. Droll kind of comes secondary. It's a luxury if you're able to play around Droll. You usually aren't able to. It's not even a luxury, it's like you just don't have the Cartesia. And then... we go Lubellion effect to tribute to get the Albion Engrave. And then we go end phase, and then we use Albion to get the Branded, and then also Grand Guignol to send off the Gimmick Puppet. Don't forget to do that. It's an optional effect. You need to do it. And then we are going to search out the Branded in red for the uninterrupted Gimmick Puppet. We then set this, pass to our opponent, go Branded in red, targeting Luber. Just like whatever you want to make, just go these two. And then you can make a Quertus, and then chain Sanctifier on summon. They can't respond, targeting the Gimmick Puppet and the Albion. Give your opponent the Gimmick Puppet, take the Albion for follow-up again. And yeah, that's how you Gimmick lock. Well, that's how you play that hand, at least. Like I said, this deck really doesn't Gimmick lock a whole lot of the time. You do have Gimmick in your deck, it's there. It's just like it's your best going first strategy, so a lot of these hands will end up being Gimmick lock hands. However, it's not what you need to do every game. Like I said, you have to determine, you know, are they playing Crows, Bestials in the main or the side? And if they're in the side, you have to, in games 2 and 3, you have to be careful. You always, you know, you run Dragoon, you run Mercurier. Can you get those? Do you have those available? If you don't, well, then it's going to be a weak Gimmick lock. So you should probably go into the double Mirror Jade, you know, depending on the play. Or if you are in game 1, it's fine to go into weak Gimmick lock because you can just play under Nib and Super Poly with Sanctifier Guignol, so it's just fine. So let's just see. This hand is kind of not, it's really good going second, I will not lie, but it's really bad going for, or not really bad, but what we can do is just go Branded Fusion. We see, the thing is though, we have Tragedy in hand. That's a tragedy, so we aren't exactly, I mean, we can banish it at least. So what we can do is just go, yeah, we'll just have to go Albaz plus the Lubellion, and then what we can do is, oh, this is so awkward. This is so awkward. Also, what's up, 9 viewers? We're actually getting viewers on our live streams now. That's pretty lit. Appreciate all y'all checking my live stream right now. Y'all are the GOAT. So we're gonna go into this. I'll be on the Branded Dragon, and Branded Dragon's gonna use its effect. We can actually use, we can banish these two guys and start doing stuff, which is pretty funny. So that's what we're gonna do. We are going to banish Fallen of Albaz and the Tragedy in hand to make the Lubellion. And then we can go Chainlink 1 Lubellion, discard the evenly matched that's dead, and then Chainlink 2 Tragedy to search a Despia. So we are going to search a Luber to get the Branded in red eventually. We are going to be able to do a lot here. I mean, we could get the Quem too, honestly, but it's fine. And then we are going to then fuse back with Lubellion, with Albaz for a... yeah, let's just see, into a Mirror Jade, and then Lubellion contribute over Albion, and then Lubellion can use its effect to search. Oh wow, we have 10 viewers right now. What's up, guys? The Grossi Posse really kickstarted my live streams, I guess. Like, y'all are checking out my live streams now. I really appreciate it. Even if you guys got any questions, we're just playing Branded Despia. It's my favorite fusion deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a modern deck. It's really good. It's really explosive. A lot of people don't exactly love it, but I really do. It's one of the most underrated decks right now, I think. It's an older deck, but it's really good still. So yeah, then we can go Aluber effect to search out the Branded in red. And then what we can do here, which we can go Branded in red targeting now. See, now here's the thing. We could Branded in red here, or we could wait for our opponent's turn. Now it's like, what are our options? We don't have a spellcaster. If we had a spellcaster here, it would be really easy to use Branded in red here, because then we could extend really hard and set up a Gimmick lock, but we don't. So what we can do is, because like, even if we go Branded red, search Cartesia, we can't summon it because we already used our normal summon. And then, wow, we have 13. Brazilians play better than Americans. I mean, hey man, I cannot agree to that as an American, but also I think we have great players across everywhere, but I'm not gonna get into that fight, but great players everywhere. So yeah, we can just, I mean, there's really no point into doing that. What we can just do is set the Brand red, set the Super Poly, and then we can go end phase Albion to get our effect. So what we should do is get the Branded Retribution, most likely, I'd have to say. Yeah, because what we can do here is set this, and then we have a negate on our opponent's turn on the Branded Retribution. We can have the Mirror Jade to send another card from the extra deck, which could be the Rinbrum for a Super Poly effect with the Fallen of Albaz in graveyard, to make a Titaniclad on your opponent's turn, which is really cool. So the Retribution can return back these two guys, or you could send obviously something else. It just gives you options. Then you also have the Brand red, target the Albaz once you've used it up again for a, obviously a, you know, a Guardian Chimera play, and then you have the Super Poly. And the Brand loss is going to get you a card back in hand for the Super Poly, and then obviously the Retribution will be in graveyard to get the extra card. So, what's up, Bills Fan 524? What's up? The homie, chilling in chat. 2 nights in a row. The GOAT, some would say. How's it going, brother? Yeah, so for some reason my, the message retracted, Marcos. Fair enough, brother. it's all love across the seas, you know. I think I could learn from any player from anywhere, and I'm sure that, you know, there's good players everywhere, you know. Like, I think it's definitely skewed sometimes with like population. I think Brazil is one of those places with a huge population, so I'd assume there's a pretty big Yu-Gi-Oh contingency, so there's probably a lot of very skilled Brazilian players, which is really cool. I wish I could have went to YCS Sao Paulo for that reason. It seemed like a very good YCS. I heard it was really hot though, unless maybe I'm thinking of Costa Rica though, or maybe it was both. So yeah, we're gonna do a couple more test hands, and then we will probably be logging off, but you know, you guys let me know. If you guys want to let me know in chat what you guys want to see, or even donate, I can obviously just show off any kind of combo with Branded Despia. But for now, we're just going to be doing these test hands. This is a really good test hand. I mean, it has a lot of redundancy. Let's see where our 6th card is for going second. Just incredible. That's why I have this build as it is, because of the fact that you usually just, your 6th card will always be a board breaker or an extender. So you always want to have a board breaker, and like Branded Despia already inherently board breaks, so it's like very much one of those things. Yeah, Lucian, South American players are really good. Yeah, no, I very much bet so. I know that YCS Bolivia was pretty small, like it was like only 200-person YCS, but like I'm assuming Sao Paulo was huge. Like Brazil has huge population, so definitely very good players. So yeah, let's get into this. Obviously, order of operations go. We don't play around roll here. We play around the imperm. So we will go I mean, what we could do here, if we had hard drawn a Albaz, we could actually fusion deployment out for a Dark Magician, hard make the Dragoon, which would be really cool. But what we can just do, I mean, we can't fusion deployment out, that's the thing. We have both Cartesias in hand, so it's actually kind of funny what this hand is, but we kind of still want to special summon out the Cartesia so we can get the Quem too, so that's what we will do. Special summon from hand. Unfortunately, it's an egg 1, but it will be fine at the end of the day. We will then go Branded Open, or no, we will go Aluber normal summon effect. It's arguably harder to top there, yeah, but there were like 50 players there with YCS tops, 100%. Like, I saw Patrick Hoban top 32 day, and it's like, you know, people were like hating on like Michael Verismo for winning that. He was like, oh, it was only like a regional YCS, and it's like, yeah, there were a lot of really good players, so it's like nothing to take away from him. A win's a win. You know, like in a shorter pool of people, it's going to be harder to play when they're all really good players. That's why I heard what happened at Sao Paulo, or Bolivia, or not Bolivia, Costa Rica. So yeah, we are searching out a Branded Fusion, and then Branded Opening, discarding the Cartesia, the extra Cartesia, because we're obviously going to recur it. We are going to get out the Quem. Now, we gotta be careful about playing around Fallen or Nibiru here, so what we are going to do is use Quem Effect, and since we already have the Cartesia, what we can do actually here is interesting, is send the Mercurier. Now, trust me on this. What we do now is Branded Fusion, we then send, we are going to just straight up make a, I mean, since we're gonna be able to play around it, actually what we could just do is straight up make the, oh, actually what's cool is that we already have a Cartesian graveyard, so interesting. We do want to get Albion though. Albion's huge here, so unfortunately what we're going to do is send a Lubellion, and then we will then go into the Albion, the Branded Dragon, and on resolution we will go Albion, Branded Dragon, Chainlink 1, Quem, Chainlink 2, targeting the Mercurier. Mercurier, what you guys might not be aware of, is it's effective on the field too, as well as the hands, so special summoning off a Quem or Sanctifier is very much a option. So yeah, we'll special summon out the Mercurier to get around the Nibiru at this point, and then Albion will then we'll go Chainlink 3 Cartesia. This is pretty big. We have to do Chainlink 3 Cartesia. Actually, we don't necessarily need to, but yeah, we'll go Chainlink 3 Cartesia, sending these two. and then making the Grand Guignol. And then we will obviously special summon out the Mercurier. And then, which the 4th, 5th, and 6th summon happen all, or the 5th summon and 6th summon happens all in the same chain, and you will resolve the chain with Mercurier, so you will be safe from Nibiru. And then Albion will then banish these two guys to special summon out the Sanctifier. You are safe from Nibiru, and you have a Quem on board. And the Guignol will then send the Gimmick Puppet to the graveyard. Lucian, my man, you should be playing Branded now. I'm giving the Branded crash course. No, I think it's honestly not that good of a deck, but it's a very good deck. I don't want to say that. It's a very good deck. I just think it's not the deck for most people to run, unfortunately. But if you like the deck and you know how to play it and you know the interactions, you can win with it. You can very much win with it. Which I like about it. So we will then go end phase, use Cartesia, add to hand, obviously set the Super Poly, and then Albion to get the Brand Red. Obviously, actually, we could have gotten the Lubellion Lost. I will say that. I'm a bit of a bozo. We could have done that. So I just want to point that out for people. What we could have done is Cartesia, fuse, not with the Albion, then tribute with that Lubellion for the Lost, and then we would be ending on top of an Albion, a Shrouded Dragon, which would have sent a Retribution for follow-up. So just so you guys know, that's probably what you should do. But that hand's really good. Was able to break boards going first, going second. So yeah. Hope everyone's chilling though. We currently have 9 viewers. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please leave a like. I very much would appreciate it. It's kind of crazy having 9 viewers at once. Maybe honestly, I could just start streaming from now on, because if I'm always just getting some people this is just a way to build up a live community. So very much fuck with that. Let me get your tier deck so I can play Lamau. Bro, tier is fun, but it is frustrating. It is a frustrating deck. I'll play it. It's just I hate going to time with it. It feels like Purrely, where it has a time issue. I mean, it can actually OTK though, but still. This is a good hand, going second as well, because we have the Thrust deployment. We have an Aluber 2 going second, so that helps a bit. So yeah, going first, what we do is go Fusion Deployment for the Cartesia, revealing the Grand Guignol. And since we haven't used our special summon or normal summon, we will use Cartesia's effect immediately to fuse with the Tragedy, so we could get the Aluber and then the Guignol 1, Tragedy 2. Guignol is just going to immediately send the Gimmick Puppet, because if this is game 1, we can just do that. If this is game 2 or 3, you don't want to do that probably. You want to save the Gimmick Puppet until you have some negates on board, which you do have a hand to do that. But you also, if they go Bastille, you have the Thrust, so it's fine. It's almost like a bait to do that at that point, because you have Thrust, so you could very much do that for that reason. So yeah, we're tragedying right now for a Aluber. Obviously we could grab a Quem, but that's not the play. We are going to then normal summon Aluber, get the Branded Fusion, activate the Branded Fusion, sending the Albaz, we have such a gas hand. This is one of those hands where we actually get to make Dragoon, so that's what we're gonna do in order to play around Nibiru and Bastiles. Even game 1 or 2, if you can, you will do this. This is one of the best hands you can get. Lubellion 1, discard Maximus, because we can recur it back with Servant, and then we are going to spin back Dark Magician and Lubellion, so we can have the Lubellion on tap, Dragoon, and then currently we can go Nadir Servant. You can use my tier deck if you really do want to use it. I just really do like tier, so it's a deck I still plan on playing. I would like to play more. It's just, I'm going to do so much better with this deck. So I love Branded, No hate to Branded. It's very much, that's why I came back to it. Shout out to my boy Yuri, who gave me back on the deck. And then we send the Garura, take the Maximus back that we just pitched, Garura on res to draw 1. Wow, that's actually, we did not shuffle, so I am not taking that draw. That'd be fine if we would just redrew it though. Super Poly, amazing. So then we summon out Maximus by banishing the Garura Maximus effect to send the Albion and the Lulu. And then we set this, go end phase, take the Cartesia for the Super Poly, and then Albion Lulu. Albion will be setting the Branded Red. So since we don't have Branded Red, it's Order Operations, Brand Fusion, Brand Lost, Brand Red. I mean, we can't activate Lost right now, so we can't. So we go Branded Red, set Brand Red. Triple Tactics is in hand, obviously, just in case. And then Lulu will spec out the Cartesia wherever she may be, so that you can make on your opponent's turn, a Draco Stapelia by using the Gwignall plus the Aluber, and then you can obviously go Brand Red to target the Albaz to make on your opponent's turn, using it and the Maximus in order to go into the Sanctifier, and then Sanctifier effect targeting the Gimmick Puppet. Actually, what you could do is do Cartesia effect, do these because Gwignall works in the graveyard, go Stapelia, and then this guy's Sanctifier effect targeting the Gimmick Puppet and the Aluber. Give yourself a Aluber so the Aluber triggers, and then you can get the Branded Fusion for follow-up. And yeah, so that's how this deck works. It's very good. Anyone who tells you it's not is, you know, they don't know what they're talking about. Yo, what's up, Quinn Cameron? W channel, indeed. W chatter though. We have some very W chatters in the chat. We got Bills fan 524, Quinn Cameron, the GOAT coming through, donating, one of the Grossi Posse who came through last night. You know, you guys are always welcome here. Very much appreciate y'all. You know, even if y'all aren't into Yu-Gi-Oh too much, it's really cool to just see two communities coming together. It's really cool. Glad you guys are, you know, hope to see you guys in the future because, you know, that was like my first raid ever. It's going to be something I always remember. So, you know, y'all the homies. So yeah, that was as you guys can see, there's really been no bad test hands outside of that first one I started in this stream, and we still were able to play through a lot. We are going for 30 minutes now. I think I was going to make this video about 40 minutes, and we already have another 10 minutes, so I think we are going to go for a few more times. I mean, we have 10 people right now, though. I don't know how much longer we'll go, but we'll see. Let's see. Wow, this sounds really good. So we have the hard-drawn Branded Fusion with the Super Poly for going second, Branded Red for going second, amazing. Because what you could do is just go like normal summon or set Albaz with Super Poly if you need to, or Luber, and then dodge Imperm. So what you could do is shout out to everyone in the chat right now. Y'all are amazing. 10 viewers right now. Y'all the homies. Have a good night, Lucian. See you around, bro. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you as always, my man. The neighbor homie Lucian. So yeah, we will go into these guys. Order of operations. We have the Branded Fusion. We want to get the Aluber so we can get the Lost right now. So we'll go main phase Aluber, search the Lost, activate Lost. Lucian says, let's test Monday, come down mad busy today. Yes, let's do that, please. I've been meaning to IRL test. I need to get cooked by birds. You need to show me the goo against birds because I have such a bad birds matchup with this deck. It's not such a bad, but like if you don't see non-engine, it's really bad. So yeah, we will then use Branded Fusion. Have a good night, dog, though. Thanks for coming through. Send the Albaz. We already have the Lubellion, so we can just literally, I mean, the thing is though, we want to search Mercurier here, but we also want access to Cartesia, so I'm trying to think how the best course of action here, because I'm not trying to play into Nibiru that well. We don't have anything in hand, unfortunately. Or no, we do. We can actually do that. Because if we send these, to, what we could do is we could go Lubellion, but then we don't search Cartesia. So yeah, we have to search send Cartesia here. And then what we can do is go straight. I mean, we have Albion, so we should just go into him. And then we can do Chainlink 1. Albion, Chainlink 2, Lost, searching the Cartesia. Yeah, we're still playing around Nibiru this way. And then, oh, for that reason, actually, we should, instead of Albion, go into the Sanctifier, because you can do that still with the, because we want to play around Nibiru with this hand, so what we will do is just make the Sanctifier, search the Cartesia, then on Resolution, special summon Cartesia since we have Albaz. Yeah, let's go Lucian. And then yeah, Cartesia special summons we get to, and also we have Called By, which is insane, so we can play through Ash, obviously, that's why we run it, on top of the Nadir Servants and Thrusts. So Cartesia effect to fuse off with the Aluber for summon number 4. We will be going into the Dust Dragon, and Dust Dragon effect to send, obviously, the Gimmick Puppet. Games 2 or 3, it will be different. Obviously, if you're breaking a board, this is not what you will be doing, but obviously we had the Super Poly, we had even more gas, we can break a board. You've seen in every hand, there's usually a thing. If you see Super Poly, you can break any board. I'm just saying it that way, like, plus with Albaz engine, it's very easy too. So yeah, we send that, and we can set these. And we go end phase, pass, and then they draw Sanctifier effect. I mean, we do have the loss, that's the thing. So we could wait for them to do something and then literally go Super Poly. If we know what they're on, if they're on Liar Dark deck, and then make a, just like make a Draco Stapelia or something, and then get the loss, and then chain Sanctifier to get the uninterrupted. But most likely what you'll have to do is just activate Sanctifier. And then if they do Crow you, have Called By. If they Bestial you, it's kind of a rip. But we want to play under Nibiru mostly. Like, this was a game 1 board. If we were playing game 2 or 3, I would be searching Mercurier, or I'd be making a Mirror Jade board most likely with that hand. Hi, if I don't have Thrust, I can still use Fusion Duplication. So that's a question I've gotten before. On the channel with regards to having a Thrust. Can you still run the Fusion Duplication? I still think that Fusion Duplication is actually a really good card because you can target Super Poly, you can target Brand Fusion, you can target Brand Red, you can target Fusion Duplication. It's very good, it's very versatile, it's very amazing in the mirror match, and a lot of the time just hard drawing this on going first is incredible. Like, you love seeing this going first. I don't love seeing this going second, but I do think that you can get around away with just running 1 if you're not running Thrust. I think it's still like a good piece, and like my friend Yuri, who got 44th at Indy with Branded, he ran 2 Fusion Duplication. Like, it's very good there. So I think 1 is just fine even if you have the Thrust. I do think Thrust adds a lot of value to this card, but a lot of the time I just am hard drawing Duplication and using it. It's like even better there, frankly, because I don't have to rely on Thrust resolving. So yeah, definitely could use 1 if you wanted to. Wow, we got 9 viewers right now. I'm gonna, yeah, we're gonna do 1 more test hand, and then I'm gonna take a breather and decide if I want to still stream. If you guys have any questions, I will answer them about Branded Despia. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please leave a like. I very much would appreciate it. Helps the content. Also, if you guys, you know, just in any way you want to support the channel is there and very much appreciated. We just hit 2,000 subscribers. We actually just hit 2,100 subscribers because the Grossi Posse, y'all were insane. It was my biggest day in terms of subscribers and donations yesterday, so very cool. So yeah, we have this hand, and this is one of those hands where we don't have the ability to play around imperm, so what we do is in the draw phase use Branded Opening, pitching the Retribution to search to special summon out the Aluber, we just hope we don't get impermed here. Imperm really does hurt here, but it is what it is. We will go Aluber effect to search out the Branded Fusion, and then we go main phase, Lubellion effect, discard to search out a Bestial and get in the graveyard so we can get Brand Lost potentially, and then we go Brand Fusion, and we will most likely make a Albion here because we have the Lubellion, and yeah, we just want to get access into those guys right now, so we will send the Cartesia plus the Albaz for the and then again we didn't see, that's the thing actually. I'm trying to think, is we do want access to Cartesia here, and the only way to do that is by summoning yeah, we're gonna have to do, this is a little awkward. This is one of the more awkward hands I've had in a minute, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's not awkward, but it's like awkward if you want to like maximize it. Mercurier, I think, is the correct play here. It's a little awkward. Oh, we got 8 likes. Appreciate it, y'all. What happened in my live chat? Yeah, no problem, Julian. If you have any other questions, just let me know. But yeah, I think it is a very good card duplication. It's very much like, I love hard drawing. It's one of the best cards. Like me and the Yuri, other like really good branded player, have just like debated even running 2 or 3. You know, it's like that good. So sure, it's fine, even without thrust. So yeah, we send the Mercurier Albaz so we can make the Lubellion. See, this only works because we have double Albaz, I'm not gonna lie. We use Lubellion effect to discard Saronir, and then, well, that's the thing, we could discard Saronir anyway, so do we need to even, we could, instead of Mercurier, what we could send is this, oh, no, what we're gonna send is the Tragedy. Because if we send Tragedy, we can search the Quem. So we're gonna send Albaz Tragedy, pitch the Saronir for Lubellion, and then make a Mirror Jade. And then, well, then again, we have the other one. That's the thing. Oh, this is so annoying. Yeah, it's fine. We have to do it this way. So we spin back this. We spin back the Albaz in hand. And then we go Saronir effect to send. I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, this the way I sequenced this hand actually wasn't that great. I'm not gonna lie, because it only gives us a Mirror Jade plus Branded Red, because it sends Branded Red, and then we can use this to get this, but that doesn't really do much. So I probably would have just gone for the standard Gimmick lock play in that scenario. I was just trying to find out something cute. It's one of those hands where it looks a bit more daunting than it was. It was one of the, I mean, it's one of those hands where you make the double Mirror Jade play, basically. It's not a Gimmick lock hand. I think that's where I went wrong. Aaron wins with the $2. Good luck, have fun. I appreciate it, homie. I wish my my donation screen was up right now. I apologize, but your name will be up there as my most recent donation once it's back up. Appreciate it, homie, very much. Stream for a little bit longer then, since we got a donation from the homie. They appreciate the stream, so appreciate all the likes too, guys. We got 6 viewers now, it's all good. This is another one of those hands that's really good going second, especially when we draw the Quem, but because we don't have the Quem, fortunately what we kind of just have to do is go Branded Fusion. Obviously when you don't have a normal summon, you always send the Tragedy because it gives you an Aluber search. We don't send the Aluber, we send the Albaz, and then Very much appreciated. That's awesome. 2 donations in a row. Y'all are the homies. Appreciate Aaron Wins. It's just really cool because I love live streaming, and it just like makes me want to live stream more when y'all are just showing me love like constantly. So we go Chainlink 1 Lubellion, discarding for cost. The Dark Magician, because we want to keep Fallen of Albaz just in case. And then Chainlink 2 Despia Tragedies, search out the Aluber. And then Lubellion can currently make a Dragoon, so that is what we are going to do. Because Dragoon's a very good card, and sometimes it's just an FTK against most decks. Hell yeah, Aaron. And then what we can do is just go Aluber, search out a... We could go Quem here, but... Or get a... Brand opening, but I don't think that's really the play. What we really want to do here is get the branded in red. This allows us to make a Guardian Chimera on our opponent's turn. Then we have the called by for follow-up. It's not the best hand, it's not the best field, but it's still, you have the evenly too, like for follow-up with the branded red, with called by. Against most decks, even the Dragoon, it's probably enough, but like I said, it's just like some hands you will only have branded fusion, then you'll have board breakers. That's like where I'm trying to work on the deck building. That's just Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes not drawing optimally, and this deck, as you guys have seen, most of these hands have been really amazing. There's just been 2 or 3 hands where it was just not the, I mean, it's not even 2 or 3 hands. It was just like the last hand I kind of messed up. That should have been the set for double Mirror Jade play, and that would have been just fine with under loss with red. That's what that field should have looked like. And this hand was just kind of like Dragoon pass with like brand red, and then the other one was like super poly pass, double super poly pass. It was like fine. So yeah, we are going to now, hell yeah, this is a really good hand. Also remember guys, this will be uploaded as a VOD edited. I wish that my stream elements was working right now, but it's not, unfortunately, or else the chat would be showing up. Usually you guys are always a part of the conversation. That's why I'm trying to keep y'all, your voices heard by like reading off the chat, even though it's not showing on the screen, so I apologize for that, but let's get into it. So order of operations, we have the Sark to get the Aluber plus the deployment to Cartesia, so obviously we go Cartesia, and then we go Gold Sark to banish a Tragedy. Wow, it's just right there at the bottom. How convenient to search out a Aluber. Don't do what I'm doing with my cards upside down. You will get a penalty at a tournament. Aluber effect, dodge the Imperm with Cartesia for a Brand Fusion. Brand Fusion, we have Thrust to get around Ash, worst case scenario. We send the Albaz, and then we also send the Lubellion, obviously, because we actually have a lot to do here. We summon Lubellion, Lubellion effect, Chainlink 1, Cartesia, to fuse, and Chainlink 2 Cartesia to fuse. I will use her and a Maximus to make Cartesia, or sorry, Grand Guignol. And then Grand Guignol, or sorry, then Albion will proc, or be Chainlink 1, banishing these 2 guys for the Sanctifier. And then we obviously go Grand Guignol 1 to send the Gimmick Puppet. We are playing into Nib here, but I think it's better to than not sometimes. You could just not if you choose to. I'm just showing you guys a little extended play, then tribute the Albion for this. And then Lubellion effect to activate the Branded Lost. And what's up? We got 7 viewers now. Y'all the homies. Activate the Brand Lost, and then at the end phase use Albion effect to set the brand red, so that on our opponent's turn we can. I mean, we might actually need to do brand red here. What we do want to do actually is set brand lost or opening, so we can get out the Quem on our opponent's turn, and obviously we have the Gimmick Puppet. So yeah, that's basically a pretty good hand. We could have also played under Nib, like I said, if you want to make it simple. It's always something you gotta determine if you see them on Nib or not. You know, by games 2 or 3, you can decide not to play around it or not, but definitely something you want to play around. I think game 1 more than anything. Game 1, you don't see those Bestials, you don't see those DD Crows, so you're able to kind of do a weaker Gimmick lock most of the time, you know, because weaker Gimmick lock, which ends on a board of Guignol plus the Sanctifier, you can't super poly this board because Albion cannot be used as a fusion material, so it's really insane for that reason. So a lot of the time what you want to do is just end on a board of these two guys. That's super important, very important with Branded. If you're doing a Gimmick Puppet lock under Nib to play around Super Poly, just ending on these plus like whatever brand red, just it's one of the best boards you can have most of the time because it's usually an under 4 summon board. So yeah, guys, we are going to take a short break and then I'm going to continue some hands because Aaron did donate. I just want to take a short break, go use the bathroom, and then we will be back to do some hands. I'm just going to put up a be right back sign, but yeah, we will be right back. Oh, I will talk to Aaron before I go. Before I be right back. I play 51 card Branded Despia with Bestials and the Gimmick lock. That's really cool, brother. Here we can talk before I actually just go and do a break because I'm not just gonna do that to you when you donated. So how many Bestials do you play? I'm kind of curious about that because there's a lot of Bestials in certain builds. I know 51, like my friend Yuri's on a 60 card build. He runs 3 Saranir, 2 Lubellion. I used to run a Magnamut. I think the Bestials are extremely strong in this deck, especially when you're going against Tearlaments or Unchained because they're just a blowout in those situations. So yeah, we'll do one more test hand, and then I'm gonna take a small break. So yeah, looking at this test hand, it's just all gas, no breaks. 6th card, really good to get around the Ash or something of that nature. We will then go do Order of Operations. We could play around Droll here, but obviously we have the Cartesia in, so we want to play around Imperm because it's a way more common hand trap at this point in the game. So we will go, unfortunately, normal summon Cartesia, and then use Branded Opening, pitching the Albaz to go into the Aluber. We will go Chainlink 1 Aluber to block the Imperm, with Cartesia to search out a Branded Opening, or Branded Lost, obviously. And then we activate Lost. One of each Bestial and a Branded Etude. How do you like the Branded Etude, my man? Like, that's one of those builds I really want to test more. It seems very good. It's almost like it's just a different deck sometimes when I see the Synchro Branded, but it has a lot going for it. Etude is just an insane card, so you know, one of each of the Bestials sounds pretty good with the Etude. What Synchros do you run? Do you run like I'm assuming Chaos Angel, Dissipator, Barone, obviously. All right, so now that we've checked for Droll, we can use Lubellion to pitch to search out the Saranir. If they did Droll you, obviously you can't at that point, but that's fine. Like, it's fine. Like, Droll doesn't hurt this deck if you don't play into it, and that's why I don't build my deck to play into it. And we will then go Brand Fusion. Remember, don't play into the Imperm column, folks. We're just doing this to be quick. Sending this, and we are going to be able to play over Nib because we are going to be able to search out Mercurier, so we can actually kind of get cute with it if we want. We are going to send... we have the Saranir in hand. We have Cartesia, so what we could do is send that, and then we did normal summon though, so what we want to do is, yeah, what we could do is send the Albion so we can get even more value. Well, actually, that's the thing, because we can just do it the other way, and it will be the exact same thing, and we won't have to use all those resources. So we will send these two for the Branded Dragon, and then we go Brand Dragon, Chainlink 1, Brand Lost, Chainlink 2, Cartesia, Chainlink 3, using herself and Aluber. Actually, well, it really just depends. You could use Saranir, but we don't have Retribution access, so it's fine. And then we can do Guignol, and then Albion will then fuse these guys, the Fallen of Albaz and the Cartesia for the Sanctifier, and then Guignol triggers to send off the Gimmick Puppet. Yeah, Lulu Walleth Dissipator, that's about synchros and fusion to odd mix, but it slays. I love Lulu Walleth, bro. I'm about to get a Dissipator, or I mean a Starlight of it. Finally, honestly, it's a really good synchro that people don't know how to really, they don't read it, so they don't play around it. Dissipator's really good though. It's one of those cards I'd love to find a way to play in this deck. I'd love to see a list. Like, it's one of those builds I think will become the build, especially when Branded Fusion goes to 1, the Synchro Branded build. So now we're going to tribute off the, oh yeah, and then also Branded Lost, we obviously get to search off the McCurrier. Do not forget to do that like I just did, but since we're testing, I'm going to give myself the freebie and be able to search it out. Tribute the Albion for the Lubellion to get the Albion in the graveyard. Go end phase, take the Cartesia, use the Albion, get the Branded in red, and have the uninterrupted Gimmick Puppet on your opponent's turn, because we are going to be able to target the Aluber or the Fallen of Albaz on our opponent's turn. So your opponent draws, you go brand red, targeting, let's just say Fallen of Albaz, because we want to make a the Mirror Jade. And okay, brand red, fuse this, plus let's just say Sarnier, so we can get a Lubellion. And then, since it's still in the same window, Chainlink 1 Lubellion, discarding Cartesia, Chainlink 2 Lost, Chainlink 3 Sanctifier, targeting Aluber and Gimmick Puppet, give them the Gimmick Puppet, take the Aluber, and then you get to spin back this, plus a banished Albaz, and then you get to make a Mirror Jade on top of getting Branded Lost Search and Aluber Search, so you're gonna get, which is just like a stupid amount of advantage, and then Aluber Search. Obviously, this is in the graveyard at this point. We could just get a Branded Fusion for follow-up next turn. Branded Fusion is never a bad thing to just search out in this deck. And your opponent is currently under Gimmick Lock with this. It's very good. And you have infinite follow-up for days with the Albion to get the Branded Red, and then the Cartesia coming back to hand. It's really good. That's why we love the deck. It was really fire, and we were able to go second with that hand very easily too. So yeah, would you ever run any other synchros with that? I know that there's Cheng Ying, could always be an option. Omega 2 maybe for the rip with Dissipator might be interesting. I'm not sure if you could really make it that well, because this deck makes 12s very easily, so I'm assuming Crimson Dragon would be an option that you could go into, obviously. We have 10 viewers right now, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I was actually gonna not stream too long, but honestly, how could I just like not just stop or just keep streaming when there's like 10 viewers in here? So yeah, we are going to do another test hand, I guess. I was going to take a small break, but honestly, I have one more in me before we take another break. Let's see. This is going to be an hour worth of Branded Despia test hand. That is crazy. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna leave this test hand here for you guys. Do you guys have any spare Quems I can buy off of you, Ivies? I do not, unfortunately. If you guys are interested in seeing my trade binder, I could upload it. I don't have Quems, unfortunately. I know it's one of those cards that has spiked. I got rid of my third Quem at some point. I have 2 Quems, because sometimes I run 2 Quems in Branded. I never see an option for a third. I don't know. Do you guys know why Quem is going up right now? Mega Man Gamer X1000 says, do you think it's possible to play Branded Despia these days without Quem? I think it's certainly possible, but like, it's one of those things where I believe it's an auto run in the deck, to be honest. It's better than Adlib. Adlib's still pretty good, and if you don't run Quem, you could just run Adlib. That is definitely true. You will most likely see somewhat of the same result, because it's used for the same thing, but the thing is, Quem is a Adlib that doesn't disappear. And it's very certain. It's another good Branded opening search, so it's like, you're going to be able to play Branded just fine without it. I just think if you're going to play Branded, I think Quem is one of those things that's like a top 5 card you're going to want to get for the deck. I know it's like one of the more expensive cards. Do you guys know why the card's going up? Is it the Fire King combos, I think I heard? Incredible Ecclesia play better, but I think it's more of a preference. Yeah, you could use Incredible Ecclesia too. I just like it because it's counted as a Despia or a Dogmatica, so you could search it off in the Deer Servant too. So it's like if you're not running Quem, like the Deer Servant might be dicey. I mean, I'd still run the Deer Servant personally because the Maximus play, but to each your own. Mega Man Gamer said, I was thinking about getting a 3rd Branded opening since Quem is also treated as a Despia monster. Exactly. It's pretty insane just the fact it's treated as a Despia monster. So I do think Quem is one of the better cards in the deck. I was able to win my round 7 in the OTS last round of Swiss against undefeated Black Wings because I went Quertus with my Grand Guignol. I had the Quem on board. Or I went Quertus, then Quertus summoned Quem, then after he got rid of the Quertus, and then Quem summoned back the Quertus, and that's a lot of card advantage that you have to fight through, and Quem enables that on a turn-by-turn basis, since it needs to be and it creates pressure on your opponent to get rid of it. A lot of the time they'll just go battle phase to get over if they can't because they don't want to proc it. So it's just definitely one of those things you can play around, but it's something you'll just have to be wary about if you don't have one. And I would run other things such as, you know, Ad-lib or, you know, Incredible Ecclesia is certainly an option. I personally don't love that card in Branded, but it's certainly there. It's a cool play to special summon Albaz on your opponent's turn. I will not lie with that card. So yeah, we'll do one more test hand before I go use the bathroom. I just don't want to go use the bathroom and then have you guys all leave here, but that's all good. This is a really, really, really good hand. Like, we get to play on our, this is for the 6th card, we break any board. Like, we literally just activate Branded Lost, Super Poly, game. So yeah, but in the going first scenario, what we do is order of operations. We want to go Aluber into Cartesia. Can we get into Cartesia here though? We have the burials. No, we can't. So we are unfortunately going to have to. I mean, we could play around Droll here is probably the option. It's just I don't love getting rid of my Super Poly, to be honest. When the Foolish Burial can just get us the Aluber, but we do want to play around Droll sometimes, so we're just gonna say we're playing around Droll here because we hate Droll by discarding the Super Poly and then going out into the Aluber. So people still do main deck Droll, so when you can play around it, I do think that you should. We have 12 viewers right now. Thank you guys for all watching. I'm going to be starting to stream a lot more. You guys are really just putting in a lot of work and showing a lot of love to me and my channel, especially going live the last couple live streams. So really appreciate each and every single one of you. It's a community here. If you guys ever have questions, I'm always, you know, definitely just here for the people. So we use a Aluber effect to search out the Branded Fusion. We can start doing this more too, like just live stream test hands of Branded or Tearlaments or something. That sounds like a fun time. So yeah, this goes to grave, and then what we can do from here is go main phase Foolish Burial to get the Quem by pitching the Tragedy. So yeah, I'm gonna take this off. I don't need this anymore. This was actually starting to give me a headache. Tragedy, then we search out the Quem from the Tragedy on the new chain link, since Quem is, like we were just talking about, considered as a Despia monster, so you can search it off of the Tragedy very easily. And then we go Quem to send the Cartesia, so we're able to go into Cartesia plays. We have the opening in hand already, so we don't necessarily have to go Mercurier here to play around the Nib. We'll be able to play around Nib very easily with this Branded Lost and then Branded Fusion. we hope it doesn't get Brand or Ash, but if it does, we have Nadir Servant. It's just fine. I'm just gonna take a drink of water. Very much appreciate the donate before when Aaron wins. You know, y'all are the homies. So yeah, Brand Fusion will go right into. Let's see. Fallen of Albaz, and we already have the Cartesian graveyard, so we can just send the. We already normal summon 2, so we don't need Lubellion necessarily. We could go into the Dragoon, but we don't have an extra discard, so we can't exactly, we don't have the luxury to do that. So we will send the Lubellion and go into Albion, and then on the new Chainlink, we will go Chainlink 1 Albion, Chainlink 2 Quem targeting Cartesia, Chainlink 3 Lost, so we can get the anti-Nib line, searching out the Mercurier, special summoning out the Cartesia, and then Albion doing its thing, banishing Fallen of Albaz, and we can just... Unfortunately, we actually kind of have to banish the Quem here if we want to do the Gimmick line, which is fine. Sometimes it do be that way because it's a light spellcaster, so sometimes you just have to do it. And then what we will do is Lubellion tribute the Albion, so we get that in graveyard, and then Cartesia effect to fuse into, obviously we are safe from Nib at this point because of the Mercurier, the Grand Guignol effect to send the Gimmick Puppet, and then we are going to be able to go Nadir Servant because we are safe with the Mercurier to just like go infinite, and then send the Garura, and then search the Maximus. And this is actually really good testing for myself too, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is good for everybody involved, because I don't get a whole lot of testing with Brandon on my own, to be honest. So then on the Resolve, we draw 1 off of Garura, draw a Fusion Deployment, that's really good for follow-up too. And then Maximus effect, Voice Crack, I'm apparently in puberty. Maximus effect, we are going to send the Lulu. Since we already have the Albion in the graveyard, we get to send either Titaniclad for Quem, which we don't have an extra Quem, or we could send the Rinbrum for a Super Poly on our opponent's turn, since we had to pitch the Super Poly before. So, and since we don't have Albaz, that's fine. What we can do is go, and this is actually kind of funny, Fusion Deployment. Well, that's the thing. Do I want to do that? We can just Fusion Deployment, so we have an Albaz on board. Sometimes it's just important to have an Albaz, to be 100% honest. And then we go End Phase, Lulu effect, Cartesia effect, and Albion effect. So add the Cartesia from graveyard, since we a Fusion went to the graveyard that turn. Now we're going to set the Branded in red off of Albion, and then off of Lulu we will special summon the Cartesia from deck, and then what we can do on our opponent's turn is pass to them, go Branded red, targeting literally like probably a Luber for, I mean, no Tragedy. It really just depends, because we can let them play too, but you have a lot here, and you have the uninterrupted Gimmick Puppet, so it's kind of just like the world's yours at that point.